Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to WrestlingGab. That's Dalethea. I'm Travis, and we're sitting here going to do some predictions for Survivor Series 2020.
Good morning, everybody.
The Undertaker's final farewell.
It's final farewell for The Undertaker. How's everybody's Survivor Series weekend starting out? Is it fantastic?
You know, like schools here have to go to school still Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, because they do all their vacations so weird.
Yeah,
they're
very strange.
The ones in different cities are not like that at all.
Right. Yeah, not surprising.
Where they just go basically Friday to Sunday, and so it's 9 days off for the kids.
Yeah.
Not here.
Looks like we got Jamie and Sharp in the chat. We have
Jamie.
Janelle out there. Guy Dawson's in there.
Hey,
Ryoto
Janelle.
and Josh. Hey, everybody. How is your Survivor Series weekend?
Janelle, this is the reason we're coming on now. We were going to come on earlier, and I was like, well, we got some California people out there.
Right?
You're the one I was thinking about.
We don't want them to have to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Ew. All right, so we're going to do our predictions
This is your wake-up call if you're in Hawaii.
Series. Right? Travis wants to know, or not Travis, but Josh wants to know, Travis, do you think that someone will attack the Taker tomorrow?
You know, since it's his final farewell, if that happens, so this is my opinion on it, if it does happen, he beats up whoever does it.
Right.
You know, they're not going to put him over like they did, you know, the other, like when Goldberg and Brock Lesnar first left in like 05 or 03 or whatever year they ended up leaving, where Stone Cold kicked them both and stunnered them both, and then they left. They're not going to do anything like that. They're not going to embarrass the Undertaker on his final farewell, especially at the end of his tour. Like, okay, we're here. Okay, you're beating up the
30
Fiend's.
years of this, and we're done with you. Get out. The fans would revolt.
The Fiend is going to beat you up, and we're going to put him over. Thanks
for being such a good sport about it. Yeah, right.
So no, I don't see it. But if it does happen, you know, I'm all for it. Whatever the storyline creates from it, unless it's to set up a WrestleMania match for him, and then it's like, ugh.
Right, as Janelle just said, why do I feel this is not the Undertaker's final farewell? Something that's not sitting right with me. So something's not sitting right with Janelle on that part.
Right.
All right, so we are going to do our predictions for the stuff. How do you want to start? Because it doesn't matter. They aren't for any titles.
This one's
anything.
Obviously last.
So there's no titles being interchanged or anything like that. It's just a brand against brand of their champions.
So we'll start with the least important, the
kickoff show. Okay, so they haven't really said who is going to be in the Battle Royale as an individual wrestler. So it's pretty much going to be open. It's dual brand, so it's only between Raw and SmackDown. There's no NXT involved. NXT has their own thing with War Games going on. So there's not going to be NXT unless they need filler, and those NXT people are not going to be in anything on War Games probably. Or they might be people who are going to be coming up to the main rosters and stuff like that. So we don't know who's going to win. So I guess your prediction would be, is it going to be Raw or is it going to be SmackDown that wins that on the kickoff show for the
So it's a 50-50 winner?
I'm guessing. I mean, that's how I'm going to look at it. Like, right? I mean, to be determined. I mean, if it's Survivor Series and it's you know, brand against brand usually, right? Yep. So it would have to be which one's going to win, Raw or SmackDown. Doesn't matter who, just Raw or SmackDown, because we don't know who's going to be in it. So I'm going to guess that they're going to give the win to Raw.
So you're going with Raw on the first one?
Yeah, on the kickoff
I'm going to go with SmackDown, and I'm going to go with Big E. So I'm going to call it all the way down to the human.
Yeah, I wouldn't know who's going to win, so I don't care.
The reason I'm saying that is because Raw looks like they're stacked across the board, and Raw can't run the table. They have done it before. A few years ago, Raw won every single thing, and it was just Raw dominated SmackDown. But now that SmackDown's on Fox, you know, the executives at Fox wouldn't like that. And then the executives at USA wouldn't really like it if they lost all theirs, although they might be a little bit more forgiving since Vince has been with them since, you know, the dinosaurs.
So there's a lot of people that do agree with you. I mean, multiple people. Guy Dawson's agreeing with you, the SmackDown. Ryoto's agreeing with you. Sunset Shimmer's agreeing with you that it's going to be SmackDown.
Right, but I have a reason for it, is what I'm coming from. That's where I was going into, is that Raw looks like they're going to win a lot of the matches, if on paper. And so with that, they could give this to SmackDown so they get a point. You know what I mean? So they're already starting out ahead, so it looks better on an executive that's never watched wrestling's paper before, and then all of a sudden they only lost by 1. But that's one of the victories. But a wrestling fan's going to be like, yeah, it meant nothing.
Right. We have Brad in the chat. Hey, Brad, it's nice to see you, buddy.
Brad.
Hope everything's going well with you and your 2 jobs. We know you're busy. Hopefully life isn't too chaotic for you. Don't worry about being active with us. Life takes precedence. It really does out there in the world.
Well, yeah, and where he's at, when we're on normally, it's the middle of the night. Right now, it's daytime.
Unless you have a swing shift and you're only working 1 job, it might work out. But if you're working 2 jobs, you pretty much are probably working during that time.
Right.
Anyways, but Brad says, you're great people. I wish you the best. I really do, which is really sweet. We wish all of you guys the best also out there. We thank each and one of our fans. We're so thankful that you guys are out there helping us out and watching us, which is great.
Hanging out with us.
Brad says, you're interactive, you're funny, you're nice. To us, you're hella entertaining. You know your shit when it comes to wrestling. You guys are just the best.
Awesome. We appreciate it.
I don't know about me knowing stuff about wrestling, but he kind of
a little bit. So I'm going to go next. So Bobby Lashley, the United States champion. Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental champion. Now Sami Zayn's with SmackDown. Bobby Lashley's with Raw.
So we asked this on SmackDown last night when we were at how many ways
15 ways
that Sami Zayn can cheat to win. What's the 15 different ways that Sami Zayn is going to cheat to win?
Straight up in a cage,
there's no way
Bobby Lashley wins this.
I mean, it would take like 2 seconds. 1, 2, he's done. So if you're going to say Sami Zayn's going to win, what cheat is he going to do to win? And I mean legit win, not like disqualification. I mean, he kind of did. He kind of like did that whole thing with what's his face and got him counted out, Apollo Crews. So he did get a count out with him. You know, he's like, oops, I tied you up in the thing outside. You know, and stuff like that.
We definitely want to hear from you guys. How is Sami Zayn winning this match?
Right. If you are going with Sami Zayn. Anyways, I am going to say that I'm going to say that Sami Zayn is going to win.
You know,
and he's going to do some weird cheating thing to fucking win it.
I don't see Bobby Lashley ever losing. You know, like, it's hard for me when Bobby does lose. It's like, what? Right? I mean, he just beat up every member of Redemption by himself one day. You know, he was getting jumped, and then all of a sudden he beat them all. I don't see him losing, so I don't see how he can lose unless they start a storyline. But you got to remember, he's the bad guy. But Sami Zayn's a bad guy, too.
Right.
So that one's so tough on me.
Ryota agreed with you on the Big E part for SmackDown, or maybe even Daniel Bryan. Janelle says, I think one team wins from Monday Night Raw, and I think you God know what team I'm talking about, the women's team. All right. Let's see. Vindicator's in the chat. Hey, Vin. He's like, I'm not used to seeing Travis while drinking some coffee, or in my case, hot chocolate. Which is exactly if Travis drank sugar, he'd be drinking hot chocolate, too. He would be drinking some cocoa. Let's see. We've got Goth Lustia in our chat. Hey, Goth Lustia and Luna. Hey, you guys. All right. Jamian's laughing and saying there is no way that Sami is winning. Ha ha! You bet your bottom dollar that he'll do something dastardly and wily, and he will get a win. Yeah. It may be not.
I'm going.
Not straightforward winning.
I'm still going with Bobby Lashley because I cannot.
Well, I don't want Sami Zayn to win. I hate him. I don't want him to win.
I just cannot see Bobby Lashley losing, even if it's like the referee is like Sami Zayn's mother or something. It's hard for me to believe that Sami Zayn's gonna win.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with Sami Zayn.
All right, I'm going with Bobby Lashley. And then we can move on.
Yeah, which one do you want me to do next?
Just move up.
Okay. The New Day one?
Yeah.
All right. So, the tag teams of the New Day Raw versus the Street Profits, the SmackDown tag team. I don't know. I kind of lost respect for the New Day.
Without having Big E.
Yeah, well, not just that. It's not only that. It has a lot to do with the fact that they weren't around. I mean, and it's not just Xavier Woods wasn't around, but Kofi wasn't there either for like months. He wasn't around. Neither two of those were around. Big E was the one that was sticking around doing stuff. And granted, I mean, hopefully they're pushing him to something else. But they split them and split him off. And then all of a sudden, they were like, okay, you guys are back, so we'll give you the tag titles. Just like that. Like, it was nothing. It was like, oh, you were gone for 2 seconds. Here you go. Sorry. They got lost, or we were hanging him up in the corner for a second, just holding on to him for you. And I don't feel that that's right.
The facts are, if you just look at the facts, there's only 2 tag teams in WWE. They both have championships. True. There's no other tag teams. You can say the Glorious Show-Offs, but they're not really a tag team.
Right.
They just put them together. Single stars that are put together. And that's what Vince likes to do. So the only 2 tag teams have the 2 titles. Makes sense to put them on them, right? Like if Eric and Ibar were still a thing right now, if that injury wouldn't happen,
right?
Then maybe New Day wouldn't be champions. But there's no other tag team champion. There's no other tag teams. There's not even tag teams in NXT that I'm aware of that are real tag teams down there either. You know, even the champions down there are 2 singles guys that are put together.
Right.
Tag teams to me are a team that has a name.
True.
Right? Not 2 individuals that are put together.
Right.
Anyways, so back to the match, because we could talk all night about that, because Vince hates tag teams, and I say it every week.
Anyways, Brad is leaving us. He's going to go get some dinner, have a good one, and he might stop by tomorrow night. Well, awesome, Brad. We'll have a great dinner, and if we see you tomorrow, that's great. And if not, that's okay. Let's see. Vindicator says Zayn's mom would likely be a better ref than the lady on SmackDown.
Oh, snap. I agree.
Burn. Vindicator's going with the Profits will be victories, so they can be, well, profitable.
And ladies at home, I don't just pick on the lady referees. If I notice a referee, I call them out on it. Basically, every guy referee on AEW
was terrible for a long time.
For a long, long time.
Yeah, they finally got into a groove, and they brought some older guys back that know what they're doing and have been in the business for a while, and so it's not as
They would literally just be counting and then stop.
Right.
Because the person didn't get their shoulder up in time. And I get it. Like, I understand wrestling. But, like, if it's that blatant, it looks silly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It looks rigged, and you're not trying to go kayfabe like that.
Right. Brad tells us we're forgetting Breezango. But Breezango's in NXT, so we don't really count them.
So you're right. And they were champions not too long ago. They just lost them. But, yes, that is a team. Although I still look at that team as 2 singles, but they do have a name.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with the Street Profits. That's my guess of who's going to win.
I am also going with the Street Profits. Everybody at home? Woo! Woo!
Jamian says Montez is going to win the match for the Street Profits.
Yes, big splash.
So
5-story splash. Whatever he calls that thing.
Ryota says the Profits have the potential to become bigger than New Day in the future. He's going with the Profits to win.
If they keep them together.
Yeah.
And barring injury.
Mm-hmm.
Ford is a nut, so I could see him getting injured. And I don't like saying that, but he is an absolute freak athlete. He kind of reminds me of Kevin Durant a little bit in the NBA.
That's funny.
And eventually that stuff wears out. Yeah. Not for the entertainment. I'm talking about the body.
Yeah, the body can't keep
All right, so next we're going to go with Asuka, the Raw Women's Champion, versus Sasha Banks, the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know who they're going to push. I mean, they do have, Sasha feuding with Carmella. I don't know who Asuka is feuding with.
Nobody. They have no stories for her. They're like, thank you for helping us through this unicorn sprinkles epidemic.
Right.
But now we're going to put the championship on you, and we're just going to put you on a shelf and forget about you.
Which is weird, because last night when they were kind of talking and stuff, and she just stood by. But the look on her face was so awkward.
Right, because she's playing the heel in this situation, I think.
Guess? I'm not
because
sure.
Sasha's a babyface if she's getting attacked.
Right.
Heels don't get attacked. Unless it's retribution, unless it's payback, like, oh, we're going to get you back. But Carmella didn't get attacked by Sasha, and she's paying her back, and the crowd's cheering. That's not what's happening. So Sasha's playing the babyface, and she has been since Bayley was kind of a biatch.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which is weird, because Sasha's not that great of a babyface.
Mm-hmm.
But she's fine, because she can just be herself.
And she doesn't have to be a major babyface. She can just be kind of neutrally.
Right.
Which she does really good at. Mm-hmm. Sasha Banks can be either a bitch or she can be kind of neutral. She can never play that really good baby face, because her past kind of catches up with her.
Right. Even when she wore the glasses and would put them on kids and her jewelry and hand it out, it still doesn't even work.
Yeah, it just is awkward. It looks awkward.
Right.
Anyways, I'm a fan of both of them. I don't mind either one of them, but I'm gonna go with.
This is the hardest pay-per-view ever. For predictions, because usually predictions you can kind of see where storylines are going to head.
Right.
This one, something's going to happen with Carmella. Mm-hmm. But is it going to cause Asuka to win? Right. That's the question. Is Asuka going to win because of Carmella?
Or is Carmella going to want Sasha to get more embarrassed and lose?
What's I'm saying is Asuka going to win because of Carmella.
Right.
And is it? Yes, that makes that's the easiest way out. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, and that's the Asuka standing by. So is Asuka going to see the cheating and then pin her? Because that makes Asuka go full out bad guy. Mm-hmm. If you see somebody cheat and then you take advantage of it, that makes you,
And is that something she's going for?
I don't know what they're doing with her because she doesn't have a storyline. But if they do that, then it opens up doors. I feel like the doors are always open for people that are heels. More than for baby faces, because baby faces have to save storylines and they have to come in.
And I think Asuka is better off without having a tag partner, Kairi Sane,
absolutely.
Because she doesn't have to be a baby face. She doesn't have to be nice. She can be mean. And her yelling Japanese at people, even though she might be saying the nicest things possible, which I do not know, that there's a possibility that it sounds angry.
I'm gonna go with Sasha Banks on this, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go with Asuka.
Right.
So, let's see. People out there, let's see.
Who you got? I want to hear what people are saying.
Wanted to say true, Travis, on that thing we were talking to before about the Prophets. Josh is going with Asuka. Vindicator's going with the Boss. Jamian says that there is not even a debate that it's going to be Asuka. Ryoto's Asuka wins because Carmella gets involved. Jamie says, yes, Josh, remember the WrestleMania match they had. And Guy Dawson says, Asuka Carmella cost Banks the match. Janelle says, give me Sasha Banks. I think they pushing her more than the Raw Women's Champion. Which is a good possibility, but at the same time, she can lose and still be pushed.
Right.
So, I mean, they already have set up that storyline with Carmella. So there is no, oh, whoops, oh, sorry, we're going to quit that now just because
All I know is if Carmella interferes and Asuka wins, it's to make Asuka bad guy, unless they try to do it hidden. The problem I'll have with this is it's so predictable that if Carmella interferes and Sasha loses because of Carmella, it's so predictable, and they've been doing this super predictable stuff lately, right?
Right.
Like Randy Orton, it was almost a given. Like, you were hoping they wouldn't go that lazy with their story.
Right.
When Drew McIntyre showed up last Friday on SmackDown, you're like, I hope they're not going to be that lazy to
and they did.
have
they
Randy
basically
lose.
Told you what was going to happen.
And then Randy did lose. So it was exactly what they're telling you. And if that's the case, if they're lazy in their storytelling, then Carmella's 100% interfering tonight or tomorrow night, and it's over. And Asuka wins.
Yeah.
Because the lazy
storyline laziness, right?
And I'm hoping that they're better than that.
Right.
Not that we can't have it. It's just I hope that it's to push Asuka as an uber bad guy.
Right.
Like both of them beat her or something, and the referee's knocked out or something.
Yeah. Guy Dawson's like, Asuka needs a win because I think Charlotte Flair will beat her at TLC.
Now maybe Charlotte shows up and interferes in this match, and that would be spectacular.
Ryoto says Sasha may do her submission while Carmella distracts Sasha. So,
right.
I mean, there's a lot of things going back
and forth.
A lot
definitely can happen.
Yeah. All right. So, the Women's Survivor Series. The Women's Survivor Series between Raw and SmackDown. And we did get our last two members of SmackDown last night, which were Natalya and Bayley. So, with that in mind, I'm still going that the Raw Women's are going to win. That I think the Raw Women's are going to win. You're
like, I don't even want to talk about that.
I don't even want to talk about it. Anyways, I'll tell you who's in it. Anyways, so the Raw team is Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, and Lana. versus the Smackdown, which is Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Natalya, and Bayley. So we talked a little bit about our weak links in here. And in all reality, Lana could be the one that loses it for Raw completely. Like, she could definitely be the person who is the loser of the team and loses it for everybody on Raw, which would not surprise me.
Well, how can she lose it for everybody? Because it's a elimination.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, then I guess she could still be the last person in there and
right, and then somehow
lose it for him. I guess. I mean, she could still be the last one standing. She
imagine,
could be that person that gets kicked out,
Lana,
and she's over in the corner crying, and then she's the only one left that's active on the Raw roster. And they're like, oh my God, it's Lana, and there's 2 other people, and she gets one of them done, and the other one beats the crap out of her. I don't know who, but
imagine Lana and Natalya, the last 2 in there, and Natalya makes Lana tap. Like, everybody would be like, I want my money back.
Right. Fuck you and fuck your pay-per-view. Fuck Survivor Series. Anyways, so I'm still going with Raw as they're gonna win.
I've been completely with SmackDown up until this point. I still have a feeling. Gosh, am I just gonna pick SmackDown the whole way?
I don't know.
Something's wrong with me. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go. Trying to think if there's anything happening. Raw's just stacked, so they have to win. But SmackDown has Bayley and Bianca,
right?
And I feel like those 2 are good enough to beat Shayna and Nia,
right?
On a good day, right? Like on a
yeah,
all things even. That's a squash match. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with SmackDown. Fuck it.
Jamie is like, you should work at the WWE headquarters because you're so smart with your stuff. Knows what's going on.
Well, I just don't like the laziness of it.
Yeah, it is pretty lazy when
They could do the
obvious,
exact same thing that you expect,
but not in your
add
face.
to it.
Yeah, they don't have to do it right in your face. It's kind of weird. Josh says, I'm going for Raw Women's Survivor Series. Vindicator says there's absolutely no room in Travis's world for lazy writers. Exactly.
None.
Ryota says Bianca is the lone survivor. Josh is like, I'm going for all of Raw winning matches. Guy Dawson says Team Raw, the Lana, the sole survivor. Ryota's like, SmackDown wins because of Bianca. Vindicator's like, I choose SmackDown because of Belair and because Mandy and Dana were injured. I actually think Shayna could turn on Nia to prove a point about leadership. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a little bit early because they're champions, and then they would still have to defend those titles. But I do dig that. Like, I could see that. It would just be like, when are they going to drop the titles the next night on Monday, if they decide to break up?
Yeah. Jamien's like, when the Raw women's team lose, Nia's going to get mad and put Lana through the table again. So,
exactly. Yeah, Lana's going through the table somehow.
Yes. Lana's going through
for
a table.
10.
Whether or not they win or lose.
10, a fucking 10.
Still going to go through the table.
All right, now we're going to move on.
Yes.
Everybody get their thing
yep.
So we know. Okay. Yep. The men's Survivor Series, we got the Raw team first. I'm going to go with Keith Lee, AJ Styles, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and just Riddle, right? Just Riddle.
Yeah.
Anyways, versus Kevin Owens, Otis, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins.
And?
That's it.
Oh, Otis, yeah.
I threw Otis in there. All right, so on this one, it's not even close. There's one guy on the SmackDown team that can compete with all those guys. Put Braun, Keith Lee, and AJ Styles. And Sheamus isn't a slouch.
No, he's not. The thing of it is like...
They can't get along.
They can't get along.
And they've been showing it over and over. I cannot go with the freaking SmackDown again because I picked SmackDown in every single match except for the Bobby Lashley one. So I can't just do a clean sweep for SmackDown. So I'm stuck picking freaking Raw on this one, even though I want to pick SmackDown. I don't honestly know how SmackDown could possibly win this.
Maybe they have some fluke thing happen.
Oh, there's some crazy.
So there's going to be so much internal strife in Raw.
Like Braun and Keith beat each other up.
They are going to be paying attention.
AJ Styles just walks off.
He's like, I'm done. I don't want to be captain anymore. This boat's sinking.
Sheamus bro kicks Riddle. And King Corbin wins it all. No, I'm just teasing. And people start a fire, and we got riots. Thunderdome burns down.
Well, I'm actually going to go with the underdog this time. I'm going to go with the SmackDown team.
I got to go with Raw on this one. But
I'm going to say that SmackDown is going to win.
I want to know how Keith Lee gets pinned or submits. I want to know how... Now, I guess I keep forgetting about these little things. Countouts.
Yeah.
Disqualifications. Like,
right?
I'm assuming that's a thing, right?
I mean, there's
so
rules.
Keith Lee and Braun Strowman fight outside. They both get counted out. Game's changed. Now it's a complete advantage for one team. Right. But are Braun Strowman and Keith Lee the two that are after each other? Probably not. It'd be more Keith Lee and Sheamus, which would start a great storyline moving forward.
Yeah.
Although I think it's going to be Sheamus and McIntyre moving forward, which means that Sheamus could win this. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason I say that Sheamus and McIntyre are moving is because he keeps talking to McIntyre in the back, getting the sword,
remember
all that stuff.
when we were in the old days and we're besties, we're from the same area, like we're family, kind of stuff. Yeah, but most everybody is going with Raw.
All right.
Janelle does ask, do they hurt SmackDown if they lose anyway?
No. I don't feel like SmackDown loses anything if they lose this match. Not this one, at least. I mean, if they lost every one of them, if it's like 0-7 or whatever.
Yes. Ryota's like, Raw wins, but Lee turns on Strowman versus Otis. Ooh. Alrighty.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine Otis and freaking Keith Lee out there when they go to, like, lock up? They won't even be able to reach each other's arms.
Keith Lee, he'll be like talking weird to him, and
you
Otis will be like,
don't know the difference.
Otis will be all like, oh yeah,
oh yeah,
rubbing his belly and stuff.
You might think you're a good superstar, but you're not. Only I am a good superstar. I love Keith Lee, by the way.
The way he talks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's definitely entertainment value, that's for sure. All right, so we have the Undertaker's final farewell is going to happen tonight also. So, according to some PW Insider and CBS News and stuff like that, the show was originally advertised as a celebration of 30 years of The Undertaker. So it already seemed a near guarantee that we'll see him make an appearance during the event. So WWE has since confirmed that the event will feature an appearance by The Undertaker for a final farewell. Now, this is in quotation marks, so we know how serious even the sportscasters are taking this final farewell. So even, out there in Sportsland, who may or may not be WWE fans of wrestling, are like, final farewell. So, anyways, but they have confirmed that it'll event and seemingly ending his career officially, where it all started 30 years ago after several semi-retirements. So, basically, what prediction are we going to make that he's actually going to retire and never be seen again?
Okay, we can't do that one because that one's impossible to write on a piece of paper tomorrow night, right? But we can just do a straight up, is somebody going to interrupt him? Is somebody going to get involved in his farewell?
Are they really going to do that much of a disrespect to somebody who they supposedly respect and have had doing stuff for him for 30 years?
Right. So here's the options. He comes out and talks, and everybody just cheers at Thunderdome. Option 2 is he comes out, somebody interrupts him, either beats him up or he beats them up. Or option 3, everybody in the back comes out and cheers and claps.
Right.
Like the whole locker room clears out.
And then he gets attacked.
No.
I'm just kidding. And embarrassed, and then they put him in his coffin and take him away.
Or, you know what would be cool? It just came to me. Everybody comes out except for the Fiend, right? And so he turns, he's facing everybody, and they're all like, Undertaker,
you're amazing.
Undertaker. Right. Some are crying and stuff. And then he turns around, and the Fiend's standing there, and then the Fiend shakes his hand. Like just embraces him.
Right.
That would pass the torch without any physical altercation. It would just be like goosebumpy moment.
It would.
Because then all of a sudden the Fiend just accepts him. He's the dead man, the hell man. The Fiend opens up the water. It's red. Hell. Just they kind of become one. And then they walk off together or something cool like that. Because they could do that. They could pull that
would be cool, but we're talking about WWE.
Come on!
Kind of stupid. So they don't do cool things very much. Anyways.
I just got goosebumps, so I know it would be cool.
So it would be cool. And I don't even know these people except one of them. I mean, I've seen Undertaker, but Vindicator's like, Raw has the bigger team, so therefore a bigger chance of victory. I give SmackDown a 1.1% chance of winning. That chance is interference by the chief of all tribes. Because of Uso, right?
Yes.
Ryoto says, do you see Vince inducing Taker himself, like if he, to the Hall of Fame stuff?
Probably. Paul, Paul Bearer, whatever his name was, he's already passed away.
Right.
And his kids were there, and his son sounds just like him. It's creepy. I don't know if you ever heard
I think you showed me like one thing.
Yes. Yeah. His son sounded just like that at the Hall of Fame. I was like, oh, hell yeah. That's bring it back.
Right. Ryoto is going with your number 3 option.
Oh, I hope
before you came with the 4th off the chart, which would be way better than anything they could come up with at this point. Josh is going with, like I said, the Taker is going to pull a fake retirement like Mark Henry did, so he's going to pull a Mark Henry, and the Fiend will attack him, and it will be the Fiend Taker at Rumble or TLC.
So Mark Henry came out, and he was crying. She doesn't know this, so Mark Henry came out. He was crying. He was saying thank you to everybody, and then John Cena came out of the back, wishing him off and everything, and then he attacked John Cena and beat him up. But anyways, that's what happened. So that's what they're talking about.
I thought they were making fun of him, kind of like they did with Mr. T when he was thinking his mama.
Oh, no.
Anyways, Joven is in the chat. Hey, Joven. How's it going, bud?
Hey, Joven.
Let's see. Jamian's like, King Corbin might interrupt him. And Vindicator's like, Mark Calloway is too old and beaten to fake a retirement, Josh. And I kind of agree with that. He shouldn't
So I'm saying just embrace the Fiend. However they want to do it, they can do it. Awesome.
As Josh is saying, it's going to be a fake retirement. I already know it, because how many times has Taker said, I'm done, like 1,000 times, so it's like a fake retirement. But this time, it isn't actually a big deal. There's like a lot of medical issues behind it. His wife is hugely, Michelle,
right. There's also, you got to think of his age, and if he says this is it, and then goes home and doesn't work out,
right,
he's not getting in shape again. Like, it's a hard road, like, he'd have to work 7 times harder. He'd have to know a year in advance if he was going to do
and the reason why he was getting so in shape anyways was because of his injuries. Because they told him,
his back's bad. And
your back is so bad, if you do not do this, you will not be able to move around. And if he wants to be around his kids, he still has kids that are kind of young, grandkids that are coming up. I mean, there's a lot of shit in his life that he still possibly wants to do. And I'm pretty sure Michelle doesn't want to have him be bedridden and her be the one that's home taking care of him. She wants him out there doing stuff with her.
Right.
So
she doesn't want to have a trophy boyfriend.
And the fact of it is they're not going to just write the Undertaker away and he's never coming back. He's probably always going to be somehow involved in WWE.
Especially WrestleMania time. They might even have like, a match. A match, not for him, but a match about him.
Yeah, kind of like they do the Andre the Giant match thing or something like that. Something like that, so that, it is...
30 years, whether you like him or you don't. That is a long time in the sport. That's Chris Jericho time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Vindicator says Taker transcends sports the way Hogan and Flair did, right? And Jamian's like, it's not fake, dude. Rarity's in our chat rolling their eyes at it about the fakeness. And Vindicator's like, if Taker is smart, Josh, then he retires. He embarrasses himself by hanging on too long like a few other has-beens. Yeah, those people have Vindicator. They're swindling paychecks. Wink, wink.
All right, let's end this.
All right,
So next we got the main event. The granddaddy of them all. Here we go. The head of the table.
I'm least looking forward
to. The tribal chief, Roman Reigns. That's your Universal Champion.
We already know who Thomas
representing SmackDown versus the Scottish psychopath with his sword probably in his kilt. We got Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion, representing Raw, like I said. Who you guys got? I am going 100% with Roman Reigns on this.
I know you are.
Roman Reigns, it's his company. He's the head of the table. He's the chief.
No.
McIntyre's big vanilla. Giant vanilla. With some sprinkles on.
I'm going to forfeit.
You're not going to pick a winner?
I'm not going to even pick.
You have to pick a winner. This is a tiebreaker.
Nope, I forfeit it. I forfeit picking a winner on this because I hate Roman Reigns so much. I hate him so much. I don't want him to win.
So pick McIntyre.
No, I'm not going to pick Drew McIntyre because at this point, I just don't think that it's worth it. Like, the whole shit of them, this guy has it, this guy has it, this guy has it, and Raw is like, seriously, pick a fucking guy.
He's been champion since
behind it.
Yellowstone. Yes.
Since Yellowstone. Well, since Yellowstone was inducted.
Since Jellystone.
Since Yellowstone was invented. Millions of years
What's on your mind, Travis? Volcanoes? I don't know.
65 bazillion years ago when Yellowstone was made.
Since WrestleMania.
That's when Drew was the champion.
Back at WrestleMania.
The longest reigning champion ever!
It's like the Jurassic Forest.
Forever.
Anyways.
When they came out of the goo.
Blah. He's an old man. He's wise.
He's a wise old man. Oh, I don't know. Anyways, as Josh was telling me, he loves the Taker. He's my fave, but it said, and I quote, "Final farewell." Right. In quotes. Yeah. As Josh says, I'm going with Roman. Guy Dawson's going with Roman. Princess Candace says, thank you, Taker. Here, hashtagging it. Ryota says, there's no clear winner. We have Firestarter in the chat. Hey, Firestarter says, here are McIntyre accomplishments from Brock Lesnar to Rollins to Lashley to Ziggler to Orton and now Roman Reigns. I hope Brock Lesnar will return.
That would be awesome. You could put something on your predictions that it's a squash or a draw or something. Like it.
Right. Like, nobody wins. They all lose. Everybody loses. Josh says, it's so disrespect Taker. I like Taker honest. So trying up the Fiend versus Taker and have that Taker be final. Nah. I just don't think he should have a match at all. Like, I just don't think the Taker should have a match. I don't think he should get beat. I don't think he should beat somebody for the last time. I think what they did with AJ Styles and that whole cinematic match that they did was perfect for an ending for the final match. A final match for the Taker was perfect for him.
And like we all said then, he could have went on for 5 more years doing cinematic matches.
Doing those kind of things. But I think it's good for him to just kind of, be done.
Sometimes when you are done like that, though, you die.
True. But I don't think he's done with WWE. Like, I don't think he's, done. I'm never going to ever be at WWE again. I just don't think he's going to be a wrestler. He's going to be an enigma at WWE for his, for the rest of his life and not life.
Right. His working life.
Not just that, but I mean his whole his persona is never going away.
No.
He is ingrained into WWE. He is immortal into WWE forever. There's no changing that. Anyways, we have Walter in the chat with us. Hey, Walter. How's it going, buddy?
Thanks for showing up and joining us.
Hanging out with us for a second. Walter's going with the Raw team will win the men's. Okay, good deal, buddy. We're looking at the Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, and I'll just say no winner. There. I cannot pick somebody, and I know who you were picking, so I can't pick either one. But
yeah, it was obviously that main event is definitely going to be the one that I'm looking forward to. It's going to be the last match of the night, and I'm hoping that they do it, a 30-minute match like we got to see Randy Orton and McIntyre.
Right.
Something where they go and they push each other, and it's just spectacular. And there's a winner at the end.
Right. Arya is saying something about Kurt Angle retired last year back in 2019 and got let go during the pandemic a few months back. Right. Undertaker's a little different. I don't think they'll ever let him go, really. Ryoto says, but Miz may try to come in with a briefcase or Orton causes Drew to lose. And I think they're kind of done with the whole Drew Orton thing. Hopefully they're going to be done with that.
We get a Superman punch and a Claymore at the same time. I don't know how that physically looks.
Right.
Because one's a kick and one's a punch. And then Miz comes down and pins both of them.
True, and he's the winner of both
Raw
and SmackDown.
Both belts, walks off.
Champion, that would be funniest shit. Jamie says Roman. Walter's going with Drew. Josh is saying something that he's going to miss Undertaker also. Firestar's going with Brock will return. He liked those cinematic ones.
It's hard for me to miss the Undertaker because he's been gone for so long. He only is around at the big pay-per-views. It's not like we see him weekly, so it's really easy for me.
And he's never going to be gone. It's like he's not going to be gone.
Well, he'll be gone.
I mean, he's not going to be there, but I mean, he's not going to be gone. Like, they're going to do something, like some kind of a match or something that is in his memory or...
They'll do something.
You know, something that's part of him or whatever. Anyways, Jamie's like, remember Roman beating Drew at WrestleMania. Walter's going with the Smackdown women's team for the win. That's who you picked, too, for the win on that.
I did.
Janelle says, I think we're going to see a cash-in the new WWE champion.
Wow.
So we're saying that Roman Reigns is going to beat Drew to death, and then Miz is going to come down and cash in and be the new... Instead of winning it from Orton, he's going to win it from Drew.
What could easily happen there, if they were going to go that route, is the match just goes, like, and then however it decides to end. But basically, spear, and then Drew's pretty beat up. And then the Miz comes in, and then Jay Uso comes down, and they just start beating the crap out of him, and then the Miz shows up, and then because they're just gonna step back because they don't care.
Well, of course they supposedly don't care.
If they were gonna do that, I don't know if they're ready for that. I mean, can you imagine McIntyre having the title for less than a week? He would be 6-day champion. Yeah. On his second reign. Yeah. It's like. That's not happening.
Yeah, the Miz definitely can't just be a 6-day champion.
And there's no way it works, even though he could go to SmackDown, and he's fine over on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. There's no way Roman's dropping that title anytime soon, unless Brock shows up. But even if Brock showed up, it doesn't even make sense to put Brock immediately in that feud. No. Because he's going to be the bigger bad guy, and then anytime that happens, because Paul Heyman would have to betray Roman because Brock can't stand alone, and he can't be the good guy. That wouldn't even make sense. So that one doesn't work. If Brock shows back up, it's on Raw to get the title back from Drew, who took it from him at WrestleMania. Right. So
Vindicator says he currently reigns as the chief of the tribes that ever came together to call themselves a tribe. So Roman cannot lose. Vince doesn't want his poster boys to lose big matches.
Yeah. Well, both of them are kind of that way, although we just saw McIntyre lose at Hell in a Cell, so he can lose. Right. Roman can't lose.
Right. Josh says, would it be cool if Stone Cold came out? Yeah.
Some broken glass.
Walter's like, good luck, Undertaker. And Josh was like, so Travis, so you're saying it will be like the Ric Flair ceremony when Taker comes out and shook his hand, so you're thinking it will be like that with The Fiend?
It could, because they've been talking about passing the torch, because they're not the same character, but they're a character that's dark, and it would just work. It would just pass it on without them having to fight. Just like, if it was a sword thing, here's my sword, son, and then he walks off. Okay. Maybe he could hand him his hat or his gloves or something.
Right. His coffin. I'm just kidding. Walter's like, Bobby Lashley for the win, Asuka for the win, and New Day will win. So we've got Walter's picks.
Good picks,
now, remember your picks. Write them down if you're at home. Make sure you keep your picks handy, because I'm not keeping track of anybody's stuff but my own. You'll have to keep track of your own picks and be honest. It's on the honor system.
You can put them in the comment section after this video is over. You'll be able to comment. Yeah. And then just put your picks in there if you want to.
Yeah, that'd be great. And EvilBot says, hey guys, hey Evil, how's it going today? Let's see. Firesider says, I don't like Roman Reigns pairing with Heyman. It's just so rubbish. Oh, it is. I'm the tribal chief. Just shut up, Roman. I'm going with McIntyre with a brutal Claymore.
Well, he's going to have to get him with more than one, but I getcha.
Right, yeah. Well, and the thing of it is why is even Heyman there? Because he doesn't do anything.
He doesn't talk for him. It's so stupid. So he's like this weird clown. Yeah. And maybe that's his punishment.
Maybe. It
might be. For the AJ Styles stuff.
Maybe. You don't get to talk and you're just some dude's piece of shit garbage lackey on the side. Rocha says Taker will be the best trainer. EvilBot says winner will be Drew McIntyre. Rocha says Reigns won't lose his belt anytime soon. Ryota says, what if it is a fake cash-in? I don't know. There's going to be lots of weird... Who knows what? I mean, it is such a long pay-per-view that who knows what the fuck's going to happen.
It's going to be exciting to watch. We will be here tomorrow to watch it with you guys.
Yuri Butler says, hello. Hey, Yuri. How's it going? Let me just make sure I get everybody's stuff. Walter's like, there's going to be a nice ceremony for Undertaker. Some WWE past wrestlers will come pay-per-view. Sweet. Firestar says, I remember 8 months ago, Undertaker made a funny entrance as his heel entrance 2002 before signing the contract against his opponent AJ Styles for the Boneyard match for WrestleMania 36 Part 1. All right. Let's see. Vindicator says, Taker never needed a crutch like Bliss to make him more interesting, though.
Oh.
And still has not worked as well as WWE hoped for The Fiend. I can get away with that because Luke is still asleep. I'm going to tattle on you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right, everybody. We are going to call it for the day. We are done with our predictions.
We're going to see you
guys for being here. Again, comment below with your predictions after this is uploaded on there so that you can put your comments or put your predictions in the comments below this video so that you can keep track of them later and we can go through and maybe look and see what everybody predicted and maybe
if we
make
see
some
the
comments later or something.
If we see the letter that says edit on it, we'll know that you changed.
Yeah.
Like, I got them all right. Mm-hmm.
Sure you did. You edited it. No, I edited it like right before.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching Wrestling Gab. We'll see you tomorrow night for Survivor Series.
Pay-per-view around.
Right around 6 p.m. Eastern. It starts at 5 p.m. Eastern, but basically whenever the Battle Royal starts, we'll come on. Yeah. So I'll have it on, and then that way we're not just out here just talking.
Yeah, but the real show, what the actual time
7 p.m. Eastern is the show.
But the pre-show starts at
2 hours before that,
5 p.m. Eastern. So,
but there's only a Battle Royal on there, so there's going to be a lot of talking, so we're going to try not to have to do that much talking.
Yes. So bring your snacks, bring your food, hang out with us, watch it on the couch, watch with your friends, watch with your parents, watch with us, because we're your friends too. And everybody take care. Have a good rest of your weekend for now, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching Wrestling Gab. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.